Well, welcome back, everybody, to Making a Grade. I am Dr. Stephen West, the Superintendent of Winona Area Public Schools. To my left, I have some important people here. This first segment, we're going to talk about referendum stuff because everybody's been asking us about that, and I see all the signs out there. So let's do this first. Let's introduce some folks in this 12-minute segment, who you are, and what role you play, and then we'll get into some questions around the referendum. Sarah, you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Slaby. I'm the Director of Finance here at the school district, and I've been in the district for about 15 years. I work in the business office, and so anything that has anything to do with numbers,
you're my dollar person.
I'm the person.
Yeah, you're my money. I stay very close to this one because she takes care of my money. To my far left over here.
I'm Kevin Fleece, I'm Technology Director for the school district, and I've been here almost starting my 20th year, so a little bit longer than Sarah, but we just do everything technology related. Got a lot of exciting things going on and a lot of exciting things coming up.
You've been close to me too for the past 2 years as a change. Okay, so both of you are here for a very specific reason. We have a referendum coming up here. We're going to talk about question number 1, which is about our operating levy, and then we're going to talk about question 2, which is a technology levy. And then I'm going to talk a little bit briefly about the spring of 2017 around facilities, okay? So let's get started here. Sarah, let's talk about question number 1 a little bit. Tell us what the question is, how long is it going to be for? Let folks know what we're doing.
Question number 1 allows the district to levy for about $1,500 per pupil. We're asking for a 10-year renewal this time. Previously, we've done 5-year renewals, and thankfully, the community has been generous enough to continue to support us with that. So this time, we're asking for a 10-year renewal. Like I said, about $1,500 per student, and that goes to fund everything in the school district. I mean, anything that isn't funded by a special funding source such as capital dollars or staff development or something else like that. So it really does go directly to the classroom and the kids.
Talk about the tax impact a little bit at all? Any tax impact on that question?
This, because it's a renewal of an existing levy, is not something that would have a increase in taxes for taxpayers. At all, which is a good thing.
It's always good.
It's always good.
It's always good. We'll come to Kevin in a second, but we'll talk about this first one first.
Sure.
Okay, so no increase, no impact on the taxpayer for question number 1.
Correct.
10 years, we've done 6 years and we go out early 5 years, so we've always turned this thing over relatively quick. We're saying we're going to try to go out 10 years here.
Correct.
Okay. So let's talk about the part about if it doesn't pass, if it fails us.
If it fails, and I try to be very careful with this because I don't ever want to come across as holding the community hostage.
Threatening,
or threatening if this doesn't pass. However, the truth of the matter is that this is a significant source of revenue for the district.
Correct.
And so if it were to fail, we would need to immediately start looking for upwards of $5 million of expenditures or six that are not, that we won't be able to fund anymore. And that $5 million would be on top of the million or so that we already know we have to find in order to balance our general operating budget. So it would be catastrophic to the system. It would be felt in the classrooms. I think we've grabbed all the low-lying fruit. We don't have $5 million worth of low-lying fruit around anymore.
And again, I appreciate you telling our community that we're not here to threaten or scare them. We're here to say this is our reality. It's 20% of our budget. And so if you don't have 20%, you got to begin to just, not personal, not emotional, but begin to look at programming for our children.
It would immediately require us to do some really high-level prioritization.
All right, so that's question 1. Question 1 is a renewal that this community has been wonderful with for years and years. We're not asking for an increase or impact on the taxpayer on that question. However, Kevin, question number 2 is a little bit trickier for us. It's a technology levy, or as we call it, a capital projects. Thank you. I was about to say a capital projects levy, which everybody knows is a technology levy. Talk a little bit about the technology levy, what we're asking for.
The technology levy, and as you mentioned, officially titled as a capital projects levy, but it would provide a dedicated funding source for technology for a period of 10 years at $1 million a year to fund all kinds of technology resources across the district, not just computers, not just student devices.
I think that's
but,
important for our
but
community to know.
infrastructure and all
Yeah.
kinds of different technology needs.
Will you speak a little bit more about that? Because I don't want our community to think that we're going to spend $1 million just on staff and student devices. That's not what this is about.
Sure. Yeah, the funding source would provide, obviously, money for student and staff devices.
Correct.
But that's less than a third of what the overall $1 million would provide us. The other majority portion of it would go to things like we refer to as kind of things you don't see to some degree, things that are kind of behind the walls, infrastructure, things such as wiring and servers and wireless networks and
Phones.
auditorium equipment, telephones.
Yeah.
All those things that are required to make the district operate in this technology-driven world that we live in today, but also provide the students and staff with the performance and types of access to internet and things like that that they require to be successful.
Absolutely. So let's talk about it from the tax impact. With the operating levy that Sarah spoke to, we have on a $100,000 house, you're paying about $190 a year. November 8th, if you vote for this, you will be paying $190 a year.
Correct.
Nothing
No change.
changes there.
Right.
However, with the tech levy on a $100,000 home, you're looking at about $24 a year, which is about $2 a month
Right.
additional.
Right.
So instead of $190, you're paying approximately $214, $214, an increase of $24 or $2 a month.
Correct.
Is that correct?
That's right.
All right, so that's the kind of the impact, and if you want to know where you fall on those things, let us know. We have documents that have been sent out to everybody's home so that we are being upfront with folks about the tax impact. But if you haven't received those things, you can go on our websites and you can look on the district website for that information and see where you fall on that piece. Correct. All right. Can you just talk a little bit, Sarah, about our farmer friends? Because the farmer friends, when we talk about their impact, their tax is a little bit different than
Correct.
inside the city.
Right, you know, as opposed to the operating referendum, the operating referendum doesn't get spread to the farmers quite as heavily as something like a technology levy. And
Yeah.
so they are actually taxed a certain percentage on their entire value of their farm.
Right.
So that is a reality of this type of a levy.
So what I hear is like on an operating levy, a farmer would get taxed for his house, his garage, and 1 acre of land.
Correct, just like anyone living in town.
Mm.
But then there is a separate tier of tax
On that.
that gets applied to the farmland.
So, all right, Sarah, Kevin, let's talk about we got about 4 minutes left in this segment. Man, this is going quick.
It is.
I'm rushing, folks. But let's talk about, in general, the budget itself and why, especially the technology levy, but why this is so important for us in the system, because we know we are robbing Peter to pay Paul, taking pieces. Who wants to start with that quick conversation?
Well, I can start. You know,
Yep.
any time that you've got a finite amount of resources, you have to prioritize and
Yeah.
decide exactly where you're going to put those dollars. No different in school districts. You know, there is only so many dollars to go around, and that means you have to prioritize. And so we have to decide if we're going to spend the money on, you know, upgrading a Wi-Fi system or repairing a roof.
Right.
You know, or any number of other needs that are
Absolutely.
quite prevalent in the district.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I
Kevin?
would just add that, you know, over the last 10 years, our need for technology resources has grown vastly, just like it has in people's personal lives. And it really does become somewhat of a competition for those dollars that are available. So you make a decision, do you want to put technology in students' hands and make some advancements that way? Do you want to fix a roof? Do you want to, you know, replace some windows or a boiler, whatever it is? So it really is kind of a competition for those funds, but having this dedicated technology resource will not only help our technology program, but also
Free
our
up.
other budget areas of the district to free up some of those dollars.
And I know that the technology, with the last few minutes, I mean, technology to some folks are subjective, you know, and well, why do we need technology? And my argument is because it's the new age textbook for us. It's real-time textbooks. It's not purchasing a social studies book that cost $100 back in
Right.
the day, and as soon as you open that book, it was outdated.
Correct.
This is real time for us. We can have kids open up those Chromebooks and be able to look at things real time. And so to me, it's the new age textbook. And I know people can argue about that, but quite frankly, boy, it would be nice to have a dedicated pot of money on the side, not only to free up money, but then to put money into something else.
other resources
Yeah,
as well.
because you've been awfully close to me since I got here.
That's right.
Not the maintenance group, but Kevin's been awfully close because he wants that extra money. Anything we should, finally, before the segment's over, that we should let our folks know about?
I would say thank you.
Yes.
First of all,
yes,
I mean,
yes.
this community has been supporting the schools for many, many years, and so I think it's important to thank the community on any opportunity we have.
Absolutely, well done.
Yeah, and I would just say thank you as well, but also that I know the community of Winona really values technology. It's a connected community with our university system here and companies such as this, like HBC. So I think that people in Winona recognize that that's an important part of education, and just, you know, looking forward to keeping it going.
So by official, I can't tell you which way to vote. I can only inform you. And so we are trying to inform our voters that when you do go to the box, that you understand what question 1 and question 2 means for you, so that you can make an informed decision for the betterment of our children. I will finish by just concluding saying, as Sarah said, thank you very much in advance. I so appreciate folks supporting our school. I've been out with referendums. If there's a place you want me to come, I have a laptop, I will travel so that you are more informed about what you're going to be voting for. But I want to thank you again in advance. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Kevin, for coming in. These folks are really important to the work in our school system, so I just appreciate all the work. We'll be back after this brief commercial break for our second segment. You're going to enjoy that second segment as well.
HBC GigaWorld is fiber optic, which means there's more capacity for more devices. With HBC GigaWorld, your broadband experience gives you unsurpassed capacity, allowing multiple users in your home to surf, shop, game, and stream all at the same time, with no buffering or lag. HBC GigaWorld, with more bandwidth and reliability than any other provider, giving you the best speed and capacity for your GigaHome experience. Visit hbci.com to learn more.
Well, welcome back, everybody. This is Dr. Stephen West, Superintendent of Winona Area Public School. Welcome to the show, Making the Grade. So I told you the second segment was going to be pretty cool. I'm excited about some of the things that we're doing at the high school. To my far, far left over here is Jeremy Graves. Jeremy, what is your official title? Because I see it's Winona Area Public Schools Media Specialist, but is that the title?
Yeah.
Okay.
WAPS Media Specialist.
Okay. Man of many trades.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. To my immediate left is Creighton. Creighton, I'm going to make sure I make Soukup.
Yes.
Did I do that right?
Yeah.
What grade you in?
I'm in 12th.
12th grade. So this is it for you.
Yep.
Man, okay, we got a lot to talk about. Creighton. And to my to the middle there is Andrew Behling. What grade are you in, Andrew?
I'm in 11th grade.
So you're a junior. You still got some time with us. All right. So there's some cool things happening here, and I want to thank you both in advance for some of the work that you've already done. But I'm going to start with Jeremy here to talk a little bit about the Tech Nest and the Minions and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What's happening in the media world going on? What's going on?
Well, with these guys, we are currently kind of winding down that rollout of the one-to-one right now out at the high school, which was a big endeavor, but a very good one. I think it went really smoothly, and these guys helped out quite a bit with it. We're also looking to get these guys out in the classroom and working with teachers just a little bit more and setting up appointments with students and making sure that all their needs are being met. And that's kind of really what we're focusing in on right now.
So I'm about to say something around just copyright, so I hope folks don't think that. So are these folks like Geek Squad kind of folks, or what is their?
Yeah, I mean, they're a tech minion.
Okay.
And that's a name chosen by the students, by the way. We said we had to come up with a name so people knew what to call us, you know, because they were calling them the G Squad or whatever it was.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, before.
Okay.
But I said we need to settle on a name that's befitting of people at Winona Senior High School and our district. And they came up with the Tech Minions. And what the Tech Minions are doing, just like you and I, they're here to support learning and to help staff and students you know, in their learning experience and making sure that they have the technological needs and any issues that they have are being met, amongst other things, you know, making sure they're having access to the materials that we currently, you know, have and possess.
All right, so Jeremy, before I go to the guys, so let's talk a little bit about a skill set that these kids have to be minions. What do they need?
I'm really looking for somebody who's a self-motivated self-starter, has some already, geeky, if you want to use that word. I mean, I joke with them all the time. I say you guys are kind of tech nerds, and I love that about them because there's not a lot of teaching that has to go on. It's a lot of hands-on work and experience. There's things that we all don't know.
Right.
So those guys that are looking for, or those individuals that are self-motivated and self-starters, those are the ones we're really looking for.
All right, Creighton and Andrew, let's get to it now. So how are you helping staff and students? Who wants to talk? How are you guys doing that work?
Well, when teachers or students have problems,
Right.
they'll come to us and we'll try to figure it out as fast as possible to get them back to teaching their classes or getting back to their learning.
Okay, so if they're having issues with the technology, they're coming to you, and do they have to sign up? How does that work?
Well, they can either just come to in the Learning Commons,
Right.
or
Before we move on, let's talk about Learning Commons. Okay, what is that? Because I don't think our folks know what Learning Commons are. I mean, what is Learning Commons?
It used to be known as the Media Center. It's basically,
The library
yeah.
that I grew up
Can
with?
check
Okay.
out books,
Okay.
can come up for
Okay.
help with technology.
Okay, so we got a Learning Commons now.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to it. So a teacher or a kid brings the information or brings the technology to you and says, what?
and they tell us as much as they can about their problem,
Okay.
and we try to figure it out and
Okay.
take it. And also, we have a ticketing system that we've made.
So you guys created the ticketing, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Graves didn't do that, you guys did that,
Yep.
right? All right, so way above my pay grade on that. I have no idea how to do that, but, so you guys created that?
Yeah.
So they take a ticket, this is when you'll get it back and all of that kind of stuff?
Well, it's more like a way to notify us of their problems.
Okay.
So they go onto a form on the internet and they fill out what their problem is and if they need us to come to their room or
Is that right?
stuff like that.
So, Winona, this is what we're dealing with at the high school, and that's amazing. It makes me feel great that you're doing that. All right, let's continue on. So you feeling good about all of this? Andrew, I haven't heard from you. How are you feeling about all this?
It's an experience.
Okay.
It's a good experience, I think. I've definitely expanded my horizons of the technology I already knew about,
Right.
and now I'm getting more into just helping and applying my knowledge
Wow.
of technology and helping other people and explaining it in a way that they can also understand.
Okay. How about personal experience for both of you guys? How has this helped both of you personally? Because both of you are soft-spoken people. Believe it or not, I've met these guys before, and they're very soft-spoken. So how has that helped you personally, this whole minion thing?
Yeah.
He's quiet. Okay, go ahead.
I know I'm not that outgoing or
Right.
just going and telling people how to do stuff.
Mhm.
Or,
But you're learning at it.
Yeah.
All right.
We're coming out of our shell.
Is that right?
Absolutely. Seeing these students, these young men and the young ladies that we've had have stepped up and become de facto leaders in the building. It is a great thing to see. They don't have to come to me for stuff. They can go to these students and they're comfortable doing it, which is a tantamount to them being leaders and being good at what they're doing.
So how many minions do we have?
We got 10 right now.
10.
Yep, and hopefully we're working on getting some more.
All right. Male, female?
All male currently. We graduated 2 females out last year.
Yeah.
Yep, but
They
all
were
male
amazing,
currently.
by the way. Those
Yes.
young ladies were amazing.
Hard workers.
Yeah.
Well, we have a freshman that's coming up that will be once we get acclimated to the building a little bit more. She will start coming into
She
the
will
fold a little
start
bit and start working.
That's wonderful. Before I move on to the other questions, one of the questions I always get is, you guys got like shirts or something, like Minion t-shirts, or what are you guys wearing these days so people know who you are?
As they look towards me, they're in, and they need to get pressed. So we're waiting. I was hoping and praying that we'd have them here today and we could show them to everybody. But they are here. They're going to get pressed. Hopefully, I'll be picking them up tomorrow morning. The goal was today, though.
Okay. Do I get one, or am I not getting one? I mean, I'm not a minion, but do I get a shirt?
I think we could.
Can you round me a shirt up? Okay, I appreciate
Absolutely.
it. So, Jeremy, we talked a little bit about Chromebooks. We only have a few minutes left.
Sure.
Can you we talked about one-to-one, and I think we should break that down a little bit so that community understands what one-to-one means. So, could you talk a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So one-to-one means one device, and in this instance, a Chromebook at the high school level and soon to be at the middle school level per student. So every student's going to be getting a Chromebook, the same Chromebook that everyone else has. So we got 1,000 going right now at the high school. We just rolled them all out that first week of school, and there's a lot of prep and planning that had to go in before that, you know, with staff development, and then the behind the scenes just logistics of getting all that stuff out there. So we've been planning and working on this, as you know, for several years.
Unbelievable. So here we are. You guys are current students. Tell me about what your thoughts are around technology and the devices and things like that. Any thoughts?
Well, technology is like a wonderful thing. We need to be able to use it, and I know we're using Schoology that we're trying to implement more and getting teachers to use more. I know my band teachers are, as much as band isn't an online thing, are using it as much as they can.
Is that right?
Which is really nice to be able to see, and of course it may or may not make our lives a little harder with different issues that may come up, but it's always fun. And seeing people be able to go on the internet and just have some fun and look and chat with friends and stuff, it's really fun seeing that. So.
What about yourself?
I mean,
You're a big talker, so what are you thinking?
I think that technology is an important part of our lives, and it's not going anywhere. So if we can start learning how to use it earlier, and so that we can fine-tune our skills with it, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Absolutely. I want to just say, as we close out this segment, a lot of folks think, you know, it's about the gadgets and all of that kind of stuff, but this is really about learning. This is about putting devices into kids' hands and saying, how do we improve our learning? Making sure, to your point, Jeremy, about making sure the teachers have professional development and that we're just not shoving this in their hand and saying, okay, educate kids. Use of the student learning management system, Schoology. I've been in the high school, so I've been asking for, I want to know how the whole Schoology thing is going. It seems like folks are really using it. A lot of footprints going on here.
Yes, we're diving into it. It's being used everywhere.
Yeah.
Right now, and it's so important in this day and age to get these kids learning how to be more of a professional and more of a good digital citizen online, especially with all this mean-spirited stuff that you see just in our culture right now.
I know. I just heard about the creepy clown thing.
Yeah, we were talking about it before we came in, and
we'll figure that stuff out later. Boy, I tell you, kids are growing up fast, and there are things that they're seeing, and I'm glad you said something about digital citizenship as well, because our job is to educate our kids on how to use this tool to the best of their ability. It's not going anywhere, folks. Here we are at the end of, I'm getting a finger here. So technology is not going anywhere. We talked about the importance of technology. Thank you so very, very much, guys, for in your wonderful talking manner. I so appreciate it. I'm so happy to have kids here. That will conclude our show this time. You'll see me again here. Again, thank you for your support for the referendum, and we'll see you again on Making It Great. Thanks, everybody.
We are a community that has embraced education for more than 150 years. We understand that education is vital for the future success of our students and our community, and worth our investment.
Throughout Winona area public school classrooms, whether preschool, middle school, or adult learning, teachers strive to provide academic opportunities, and we have the desire to provide a world-class quality education. We are doing all we can to support our students in every way to learn, to feel safe, to be fed, nourished, and learning with tools and curriculum for the 21st century world that they will continue to learn and grow in.
Education is an investment.
Winona Area Public Schools is more than just a school district. It's a touchstone for our 12 diverse communities to come together around a common purpose to educate and inspire students, and to support their efforts and celebrate their achievements.
Give your students inspiration, and there's no telling where they'll go.
We are a savvy community that recognizes the value of strong public schools in providing strong academics, athletics, and arts programming for public and non-public students alike, and to attract families, professionals, and industry to the area.
As a graduate of the Winona Public School Systems, and now with daughters at Winona Senior High School, Winona area public schools are great. The teachers are fantastic. It's a school system that takes kids from infants through 12th grade, engages their families, gets them involved. I can certainly attest to the effectiveness of the public school system.
Education is for everyone.
Dream big!
As any good business owner knows, investing in education pays dividends today and into the future.
I feel a strong school system plays a vital role in shaping our community in that it brings and retains young families and attracts businesses that bring quality employment. The fact of the matter is that a strong school system with the right investments can accommodate the needs of today's businesses, meet the expectations of young families, and help fulfill the vision of our community.
Science is an investment.
Art is an investment.
Technology is an investment.
Winona Area Public Schools continues to be the most comprehensive school system in the area, where students can thrive, explore, serve, perform, compete, and excel. But being comprehensive has a cost, requiring our continued investment. Your support is vital.
The state of Minnesota funds schools at a level that allows schools to be adequate. We dream bigger than that here in Winona Area Public Schools. We ask our employees, parents, businesses, and residents to be willing to continue to invest in education, to be willing to trust educators, to adjust to the times, to recognize the need for technology and for safety measures, to see a greater purpose and the need to provide funding for more than the minimum. While the state of Minnesota's support may falter over time, our commitment to students and the community should not. Our students ask a lot of us.
Dream big!
There is no greater investment that we make in our future than providing the extraordinary gift of an excellent education that every child deserves. These are children that we will send off to a time that many of us will never see. Let them be strong leaders of tomorrow who, when asked, will talk about the strong education and support they received from their community. On July 21st, our school board voted to hold a special election and have 2 questions on the November 8th ballot. Question 1 asks, should the current operating levy be renewed for 10 years beginning in 2018? And Question 2 asks, should a capital projects levy of $1 million a year for 10 years beginning in 2017 be approved to fund technology equipment and services? Please cast an informed ballot on November 8th. More information is available on the district website.
Thank you.